Welcome to everyone at this global workshop. As was suggested by the introduction, my role is really to give a kind of a framing of the global energy efficiency accelerator platform of sustainable energy for all. And we will continue through then with presentations to follow on each of the different sectors. But my job is to just spend a couple of minutes to talk about, I suppose, the platform itself, because I need to be sure that we've answered some of the threshold questions. What is it, for example? We so far have mentioned the platform a bit this morning. We've mentioned accelerators and so on, but I thought it's worth taking a moment to just make sure that everybody has a good picture in their minds of what it is that we're doing. So I suppose increasingly we here in the Copenhagen Centre are starting to talk about it as a vehicle to take countries and cities and companies, as we've heard, on a journey which moves beyond ambitions and commitments and really moves to the actual implementation, real policy and project actions. We've talked already quite a bit about the idea of climate commitments. We're coming into a period where COP21 will see a lot more of these climate commitments in the form of INDCs and other statements of intent. That can be also at the city level, as we all know, and then there's company undertakings. We've just heard about the very good example of IKEA and the sorts of things that private organisations are doing to start committing on this. And there's a range of different commitment mechanisms, if you like, out there. And within that are clean energy commitments, and typically they will cover some of the different areas around renewable energy, energy access, energy efficiency. And our colleague Monica from Sustainable Energy for All actually mentioned this morning that amongst climate commitments, the vast majority do have clean energy commitments. So within that clean energy commitment, there is what we've already talked about, the goals of Sustainable Energy for All as a vehicle for achieving these energy commitments. And the objectives to 2030 of Sustainable Energy for All, as I've outlined on the slide there, doubling the global rate of improvement of energy efficiency, and then universal access and renewable energy. So this is just a recap to put the Global Energy Efficiency Accelerator platform in context. And I think our positioning on this is to say, after there's a level of commitment to energy efficiency at the city level or the country level or even at the company level, the question is, how do we get there? How do we do this? And it's becoming clear, I guess it's clear to us and probably clear to all of you engaged with this, that there is a gap right now and a need for technical assistance to actually turn these initiatives of commitment and high-level ambitions into the reality of implementation. There needs to be an engagement and cooperation between public and private sector, and this means networks and connections with good practice and the best available knowledge, and increasingly as well links to finance, so that we can actually see these ideas and these initiatives take shape. So this is where the Accelerator platform comes in, and we aim to be in that space where we can actually provide the connections, and it's a very broad, inclusive platform. We have mentioned a few times already the need for public and private collaboration, the need for different sectors to actually work together. So through the platform we hope to develop priorities, sectoral policies, project actions, and hopefully have that through to the implementation of energy efficiency and the achievement of SE4ALL's goals. So that's an attempt at a one-page description of what we're doing. My second page is a little bit more detail, which hopefully frames the presentations which follow, which is, what does this platform do? It's about practical advice to countries and cities, and it's great that we have so many representatives of developing countries in our audience today. And it's about access to best practice and dependable partners. I'm very pleased that we have almost all of our Accelerator partners here represented today. So it's actually a great opportunity for us all to learn from each other and to actually make some connections right here in our workshop. But really the platform is looking at taking countries and cities from this level of commitment to energy efficiency action all the way through to actually achieving those objectives. And to do that, there's a number of steps. And I think in trying to capture what all of our Accelerator platform work is doing, it's really about opportunity assessment, knowing what could be done, what's possible and what the potential is to allow the setting of targets and priorities. Beyond that, the development of energy efficiency strategies and plans using best practice to identify the options and identify what partners can actually work with you. Beyond that, it's about building the enabling environment for energy efficiency, and largely this refers to policy initiatives and different mechanisms that could be introduced at a high level, which helps to actually enable the players, the energy efficiency players, to actually take action. So this is about regulation, sometimes it's about awareness raising, sometimes it's about new standards, pricing mechanisms and so on. And then beyond that, in many cases, there is also a need for hard infrastructure. So we're looking at bringing in service providers, financiers and others to formulate initiatives and investments and create investable energy efficiency projects. So this process of moving from commitment and ambition to implementation and action is something that we're all engaged in some way. And the Accelerator platform is a partner to that process, and I've outlined there 6 different sector accelerators that actually form the platform at the moment with the different lead partners there. Now, that's probably quite small for you to see, but all of those partners are in the room at the moment. So as I said, we have a great opportunity to actually learn from each of these different sectoral experts, and the presentations that follow mine will actually go one by one through these different areas. We've characterised the involvement with the Accelerator partners as either a light touch or deep dive, depending on the needs of your country or your city. In some cases, it's really high-level support and advice, technical input. In some cases, at much more detailed level. So the point that I really want to make is that it's a dialogue between accelerators and cities and countries that specifically meets your needs and is tailored to sectors or requirements as you decide within your own country or city. There's new sectors being added to this all the time. On the slide is not the finance work that we're doing with EBRD to create a finance accelerator. There's also early discussion about a power sector accelerator to join this suite, and potentially a public transport and mobility accelerator. So we are looking at targeting the priority sectors by bringing together partners all the time. And just to fill out the picture, we've actually got the support network of the platform, which is the global facilitation team, as Monica represented this morning, and ourselves here in Copenhagen. We act as the secretariat, and so we're doing communications and coordination across the platform, tracking activity and measuring progress. I'll speed up a little bit because I want to give time to the individual accelerators to talk. But our partners, as we've said, are countries, cities, the private sector, and that includes financiers to a large extent, and the international community of energy efficiency organisations. At last count, we had 110 countries in discussions with the Accelerator platform or one of its components. That doesn't mean that all of them have committed or continuing, but that gives you a sense of the scale of discussion that's going on and the width of our network. Cities, we have explicit links with organisations and city initiatives like C40 and ICLEI, and more recently the Covenant of Mayors. So we are very well connected into those groups, and this is the large network that we have of Sustainable Energy for All. We're growing our links with companies and industry bodies actively, and through the work of the lead up to the COP and the campaign that was mentioned in 100, 100, 100, companies and financiers coming in, we're expecting a lot more engagement with private sector companies into this platform in the future. And there's a very wide network of organisations who are already enfranchised to Sustainable Energy for All, and being part of the Accelerator platform means access to this network. So as I say on this slide, it's actually a pretty unique mechanism for getting energy efficiency connections and partnerships. I'd also want to mention that Copenhagen Centre on Energy Efficiency, or C2E2, which is the organisation convening today, really is an expert think tank on these issues. I've been working in energy efficiency for a long time, and some of my colleagues are some of the smartest people I know in energy efficiency. We have Vijay, who's been around with the microphone, and Xenia and Tim and others who are very very much the leaders in their field in energy efficiency. There's a number of reports. Jody also mentioned these as publications of the centre. And this is an opportunity to, I suppose, get more involved and understanding more about what knowledge we have and how we can connect you. I should say also that each of the accelerators, as you saw earlier, is led by some of the world-leading experts on these different sectors and energy efficiency. And I've just put on the slide there some of the reports that our accelerator partners produce and continue to produce. So being involved in the accelerator platform is actually being able to access some of the best knowledge that there is on energy efficiency. And as I said before, most of these partners are in the room, so it's a terrific opportunity to meet people and get connected in the next day or two. So overall, my message is to say we're looking for partners, we're looking for new participation. We want people to come forward and get involved. As we've said, activity needs to be scaled up if we're to achieve the sort of goals that we've set ourselves. And we are some of the people you should speak to. We're looking for opportunities across different sectors. We're trying to coordinate activities that are going on. So coming to us means coming to, I guess, a dialogue that we can help you to define how you can get something out of the platform. And I think we need to know both what your objectives are and what you can bring to us so that we can help to define that relationship. So I'm very glad that we've got the opportunity here between governments and private sector and other organisations, and I'll leave it to the accelerators to tell you more detail about what they're doing in specific sectors. Thank you.